Hello, my friends. I'm here to talk to you about Berserk, the Deluxe Edition, Volume 13. Oh man, I had so much fun reading Volume 12, and I had that sitting on my shelf forever. But after finishing up 12, I've always binged and read at least two of these in a row after reading the first one. And so, yeah, after reading Volume 12, I broke down. I had to give Volume 13. But I'm going to sit on it for a minute before I get to Volume 14 because I know it's the last one. And that just breaks my heart. But let's open this fella up and show you some of the cool artwork here. We got this awesome double page spread of guts. How cool is that, using that Dragon Slayer? And then we look right there, there's a great one of Ricker and his girl. And on the other side here is a brand new character that we meet in this volume, who is the Fairy Queen, which is really cool. Although it's funny because she's pink in this here, but when if I didn't see that beforehand and I just read the book, I would have thought that she had more of a green or golden color, just because they're so surrounded by nature. But here's the two fairies, and I tell you, I love Puck. He's so funny. He's he's my favorite. He's just always having a good laugh. And this is a great piece of a young Guts, and we get a wonderful callback, flashback story. Oop! Don't mind that. I just bumped into some and knocked my glass over, but thankfully it was empty and it's not broken. No edits here, folks. And here's another lovely piece right there. So, yeah, this is a wonderful book. I really liked where it went towards the very end, and it has me super curious where the book goes, and I know when it doesn't fully finish, wondering where it leaves off. But man, I had such a good time with this here, and I'm really excited to have a good time going through it with you guys. Here we have our cast of characters who I'm sure you well know, and if you don't, you'll get to know them. But get to know artwork like that. Look at those nasties. We're going to be fighting a lot of stuff like that, but we're going to be seeing a lot of pretty fun stuff too, because we actually get to the land of the fairy in this book, and we get to a place where things are good, or are they? But the book starts out with Guts still inside this giant monstrosity of a sea god. We have our girl here who is now a mermaid. I thought she was leaving the cast at the end of the last book, but it was actually her going in the water to join the fight with the other mermaids. So that was my bad. But the mermaids go into the water to fight off these creatures, and Guts fights the giant monster from within. And we get all this cool artwork. It's just so fun. And he's such a badass. And man, she is so cool too. Like, the wherewithal of that little girl. And I love how she's like Guts' anchor at this point, which I really appreciate that. This is a great page too. I love that, just with her spectral form, like standing over him and trying to help him out. Yes, there's such good artwork in this book, and all these singing mermaids. Yeah, if you like pirates and stuff, this story's a lot cooler than if you don't, because I know this is a big chunk of pirates and boats and out to sea, but man, this giant whale sea god is so cool. Now I will say though, I'm getting a lot of same face with all the mermaid people. I don't know if that's racist or to say all mermaids look alike. Although them, I get that they're related, so it's intentional. It's mother and daughter. But yeah, so cool. And I love just how fucking pissed he is. This guy is so heavy metal, especially when he's got that demon beast calling to him, whispering in his ear. And I love how just blood squirts from him because his body's just breaking. It's so awesome. But he does it. He pulls himself. And through all the pain and the struggle and the gravity, he swings that freaking huge sword and cuts this guy's heart from the inside out. So cool. So freaking cool. I love it so much. Oh man. Like, are you having as much fun as I am? But yeah, so the book starts out really satisfying with the conclusion of this big fight that we were getting in the latter half or latter third of the previous volume. And I like too that this girl right here who joined our party in the last book, and that's how I'm kind of looking at and talking about this group of folks, is it's like an RPG party, and Guts is just the main POV player character. He's the one that you're identifying with and you're going through the story, but you're picking up all these characters along the way in your party. And she's our newest member, and I like her a lot. I thought she was leaving the book at the end of the last one, but I'm very happy to say she stays with the cast, which I think is great because she plays very well off Isidrio. But we're still having this mysterious boy here, who we remember from before. And Guts is having this energy person showing up to him in his head while he's kind of out of it as well. And it's not stated, but heavily implied that it's the same character who I am now 100% confident is the spirit of his weird half-aborted demon baby thing that Casca gave birth to, if you remember me talking about that from before. How could you forget that if you've read this or if you even watched the last video? That thing was heavy duty. But oh man, can I just say that this page is one of my favorites. I remember seeing this and thinking like, that would just be beautiful blown up and framed. Don't you think though, with these mermaids all just diving down deep into the belly of this creature and rescuing the nearly dead and passed out Guts. This is just such a good page. It is beautiful. And the detail this guy puts into the pages too, like, my God. This is just such a good series, and it breaks my heart that it's like over and the guy's passed. It's a crying shame that the guy died, and that is a tragedy in and of itself, but the fact that such a good work of art will go uncompleted is also just a crying shame. And God, I hope that guy left some good notes or something so they can at least like finish it and cap it off, if they plan to. I don't know if they do. They might have planned to or started already and I don't even know it. But I'd rather they not than they do something bad or make something up. If the guy left notes, then by all means, I think that's a great idea, if we actually know where the thing was going. But I don't want to see someone else's idea of where this goes, because this is such a personal story. Like, you can tell this is all a complete vision from one person, and I would hate to see that diluted. But I'm not really talking about what's going on, so forgive me. But I am going to ramble a bit as I just flip through pages. But this is all good right here. Guts is getting back to a, air quotes, normal. You know, he's recovering. little moonbeam over here, kind of disappearing, getting up to a thing. Nobody's gonna know what happened to him in a second. But Guts is just kind of going through things in his head. He's thinking about Casca and all the horrible stuff that she went through, and who she used to be, who she is now, and if they are able to get to the Elven Island and heal her, will she be the same even if her mind is healed, and will she resent him for having returned her to a consciousness, so to speak? So him dealing with that and struggling with the devil within, and all the while being tempted to think of Griffith, and you know, he's having to make a choice. Is he going to go through and help Casca, or does he want to deal with Griffith? And he's made that choice already, or he thinks he has, and he's chosen to protect and heal Casca. This is a beautiful page, though, with the moon and us seeing the little child there kind of standing on the branches of the shadow of the world tree. Very, very cool. I like that a lot. Although it's funny that when we see him in all spectral, like he's clothed, but he was naked when he was just hanging out with everybody. Like you would think it'd be the spirit world where you're hanging out naked and you're wearing clothes with people, but that kid rocks it sort of the opposite. But that's the end of that story, and here we get an interlude, and this is a flashback to an older time when Guts was much younger, and it's him going on a little bit of a journey and having some self-discovery and learning, and a little touch with magic before he ever experienced it. And it's a very bittersweet ending, but he just kind of forgets. Sort of like you have a dream, and it's so very important the entire time you're having the dream. And when you wake up, it still feels so important. But damn, if it isn't by the time you're downstairs and you're brewing up a pot of coffee that you kind of forgot what even happened in the dream. You just know that it was important. And that's kind of what goes on with him right here in this story, with his encounter with magic. But it's quite beautiful and touching. And it's him being locked away in this prison cell after being captured from doing a raid. And starving, he kills and eats this rat in the prison cell here. And hiding behind this little plant is a little plant fairy. It's the spirit, the essence of the plant, I guess you could say. The manifestation of the plant soul. And this plant has thanks for Guts, because that rat was eating the plant, and it would have died if it wasn't for him. And it's just this really sad, beautiful, and touching story about him sort of believing this is real, but not. Like, he's pretty sure he's hallucinating, but he can't be positive about it. And it's just so sweet. It's such a good story, and I feel a little choked up inside thinking about how it ends. But a very cute elemental fairy that I very much liked, and so did Guts, because he risked high heaven to try and save this fairy by rescuing this plant out of the cell and promising that he would plant it in a field. And then he has to survive an upcoming battle where they're putting him in a gladiatorial battle. And it's real cool. I like this fight. It was real well done. And this guy makes a good bad guy. Like you're enjoying rooting against him and such. And he certainly gets what's coming to him. But it's... Oh, you know what? These pages are sticking together. I missed one there. Don't want you missing that. But yeah, he certainly gets what's coming to him. And it's kind of funny here because the people that end up breaking up this castle and saving Guts are the people who ended up getting him caught in the first place, because this one fellow who was running away used Guts as a distraction. But it turned out he was the captain of the other army, and when he got back to his encampment, he brought everybody to come and do the raid. But Guts is so sad because through all the commotion, his flower got smushed. And this guy is wanting to pay Guts back for the disservice he did him by letting him get caught and saying he'll pay him for services rendered and such and just come to my camp. But Guts can't do it because he's got to race out to this field right away and plant this plant before it dies. And he just has to hope and pray that he was able to get there in time and the little plant fairy was saved. So cute. So beautiful. A nice little aperitif, I guess you could say, in between the meal of the last story and for what follows. Look at me using fancy words. Aperitif. I can't even remember the last time I used that. But hey, if you know a word, you got to find a reason to use it sometimes. So this cool bit right here, where we get this great spread with these ogres. Oh, they're so nasty. Those ogreish gnome creatures, the trolls, whatever you call them. I don't like them. They're so nasty and mean and do some terrible things. But they're out in the real world now because, as we remember, Griffith's plan come to fruition there, and he released the whole fantasy world upon everywhere. Midland is screwed. But thankfully, Rickart's doing a pretty good job with this dope crossbow that he made here. Kind of reminiscent of Guts' machine gun crossbow arm, only this is like a giant cannon. What a badass. He's so good at making armaments and weaponry. That's why we love him, right? But this is cool. Good guys meet up with him, and they're like, oh, hey, it's cool. We got your back. But they don't know that this is what's behind them. Look at that giant cockatrice. Man, is there anything more scary than a dragon rooster? Like, roosters are mean. When I was a little kid, I had a terrible, mean son of a bitch of a cousin who had a pet rooster, and he trained that thing to attack me and my mom whenever we'd visit my aunt's house. And that thing was just a nightmare. Oh, yeah, so I've had experiences with mean roosters, and let me tell you, I do not want to meet one that big. But yeah, this is cool because then some dude comes in and beats the hell out of that big old monster. But what is it but another monster? And this is Rickard's first time experiencing a good demon. Which, if you ask me, is all kinds of no good. But this dude takes this bird down, and he tells our folks that he's with the Band of the Hawk, and he's there with to serve Griffith, and that they're going back to the big old castle, that shining city. And Rickart's remembering his last time encountering Griffith when he rode off on top of Nosferatu Zod, and Griffith's open invitation to him. So he decides, hey, I'm gonna hang out with you guys. I think that'd be safe if we all stick together for a minute, and showing them that he's with the Band of the Hawk too. So they're taking him over to Griffith, and he's getting to see this shining city here. And we're looking at this giant world tree that has its roots in everything and is bridging the real world and the dark fantasy world together. And that, of course, is made out of the repurposed corpse of the giant reincarnated god from the last volume, which was the Kushan Emperor. So that's interesting. But it's pretty cool, too, that right near where the tree is planted is the only safe place. And that Griffith is kind of funneling everyone to him by making it the only safe place in the world. So that's pretty interesting here. I like the way that's played out. So here we're getting to the technical end of one volume and jumping to another, because this deluxe edition contains numerous volumes together. And what I love is it presents in this oversized, at least for manga, format. Because, man, this artwork's so good, I want to see it as big as possible. And I'll tell you, too, the older I get, the closer I need to hold it up to my eyes. But, yeah, here's our cast of characters that we're seeing. Very important to know, but I think at this point you already know everybody involved. But this volume's so good. Man, look at that. Is that not freaking amazing or what? Man, the walls of this city, so imposing. Like, let's just look at that. I like looking at it like that, like you're looking up. So cool. Oh, man. Is this guy a good artist or what? So we get lots of glamour shots of the city, and we get to see how crowded it is. And the good chunk of this is all about Rickert and him living in the city and stuff going on there. It's pretty cool. He's struggling of whether he wants to actually go and see Griffith or not, because, you know, he's got bad blood between them. Him meeting and talking to these ladies. We meet this stable guy here who sure looks familiar. And it is later revealed in this volume that he is, in fact, the Kushan mage, the evil wizard, if you remember. He was like the second in command of their army. But, you know, Griffith's given him the okay. Everyone's totally cool to just hang out. And hang out we're doing. Hanging out in the bathhouse, in fact. I wasn't even paying attention. And look at that, I'm just leaving it on a page with a bunch of boobs. I better turn the page quick or like YouTube will flag me or something. Do they even do that? I know they don't, because like I've stumbled on some stuff on YouTube that just don't belong. If they're gonna leave an ISIS video up, you know, they can totally leave in my dumb comic book review. And I mean, come on, this is totally innocent. Like, it's platonic nudity. There's nothing sexual going on here. It's just ladies talking while having a bath. Like, half of them are kids, for Christ's sake. But that would be funny if I get, like, flagged by YouTube or something. I ain't making money. Go ahead, flag me. I mean, I don't want my videos getting taken down, but I guess that's all they could really do. But it sure would be silly. Man, that is pretty. Look at, I just love all the glamour shots of this city, because you get an idea for just how massive it is. Whew, so beautiful. Can you imagine? But this is great right here. Rickert's finally decided that he's going to go and confront Griffith. He's going to meet him. But before he does, Griffith is in the middle of this ritual right here, where he's presiding over all these people's funerals. But this is just so horrible, because I'm telling you guys, like, first of all, this girl right here, I hate her so much. This psychic bitch, I hate her so much. She's so entitled and just, I hate her. And I hate how she's always dissing on the princess, too, who's a sweet, sweet girl. And she just hates the princess because Griffith needs the princess to be king. But yeah, it's just no good. But yeah, this ritual Griffith's doing is terrible because he's bringing the souls of all the dead to rise and meet all these people. And it's like this big funeral ritual where the spirits of the dead come back to greet their loved ones before going off to the afterlife. But as we know, that giant whirling circle thing that these people are being sucked into, that's not just like normal afterlife. That's like the portal to hell that we see drag in people who have gone back on their demon pact, you know, like we've seen happen with several of the demons, where they get sucked into the portal when they don't make the sacrifice, or where people go when a sacrifice happens. You know, like, it's no good. This beautiful ritual is really terrible. Griffith is literally the worst, most monstrous character I have ever read, and he's wonderful for it. I hate him so much, and I love how much I hate him, and I love that they fully fleshed him out into a real, breathing human who you understand who he is and why he is the way he is. He's just terrible, though. But he was terrible even before the incarnation, which is why he chose to incarnate, because he got that vision. But this is great here because this demon guy says, while they're doing that ritual, let me take you. I'm going to take you to where all the demons live. Before you get this, I want you to see what you missed out experiencing during the sacrifice ritual. So he takes him to meet all of Griffith's demon army, which I think was really cool. And I love this too, where it kind of cuts back and we see all the kids playing and messing with the big old Kushan wizard, which is cool. But yeah, she shows him a really cool mechanical leg thing for his walk, talking about how great Ricker is and all the things he can build and how her dad was a super cool blacksmith. And then we cut to this awesome monster fight with that sick ogre, like, whale face monster. Oh, I love it. And this thing's dope too, with that giant club on its back. But it's so cool. And then Rickard's having to see all this gross nastiness and be confronted with it and say, oh, this is the other side. These are the war demons. And he straight up explains to him, these creatures are from hell. You know, they serve the Hawk of Light. This is this is serious business. So he's seen both sides of the coin now. He's seen the beauty and all the safety and wonder that Griffith has brought to the world, but he also sees the gross, terrible nastiness. And although he still doesn't know the very full story of what happened, he has an idea and he knows what happened now. And this is so beautiful. It's him going to finally confront Griffith and tell him, yes, I will be a part of this. And we have the princess and the pope, and it's also beautiful and wonderful and nice and happy. Comedic moments, dumb psychic girl being a bitch to the sweet princess girl. You know, a lot of goofiness, jokes with the guard security hanging out and being like, no, it's cool, you can have a cup of tea. And then we have this wonderful confrontation. And man, I'm telling you, this is so beautiful. I did not know what was going to happen. And when I turned the page and I got to him talking and him saying, yes, da-da-da-da. Like, I was expecting, I forgive you. I love you. I'm joining the band of the Hawk. We flip to this beautiful double page spread here with them just looking at each other and them speaking to each other just through their eyes. And oh God, such a magnificent man too. And like with the armor and everything, he's literally glowing in this black and white picture. But then we turn the page and he just lays it out. He talks about this right here. Like he's the one who made that set of graves. And like him actually knowing and then seeing these war demons, bam! Oh, I love it so much. Yes. Woo! Yes. I literally cheered when I turned the page and I saw that. That was just so good and satisfying. Yeah. Oh. And everyone is so horrified. But he just lays it out. He says, that was me, motherfucker. That was me who buried all my homies. That was you who put them in a grave. He washes his hands. He says, no, thank you. Goodbye. Hell yeah. I love Rickard so much. Yeah. What a boss. I love it too, because Griffith, he's not hurt by it, but you can tell he's a little surprised, but he almost respects the motherfucker for it, which also is very in character with him, and goes back to him talking about how he's not really human anymore, and he wondered if he still felt the same old human things he did before. But we hang out in the castle a bit more. Some dark Kushan stuff goes on. We meet this band of folks again who help out our boy when he's facing this dark Kushan traitor assassin. And they have a really cool, clever fight. But, you know, I've been yammering on too long, so I'm going to go a little bit on speed here. Also, it's just not the most exciting stuff. But their fight's really cool. I thought it was really clever how they set up all the fire to keep his shadow powers from working. I thought that was a really neat trick. I very much enjoy these dudes, and I'm happy to see them again. And I hope we do get a bit more of them later, because I think they're really fun. But we get a pretty radical bit where this fella here reveals himself. And everybody's really freaking impressed when they realize who he is. And we realize the things that he's been keeping in his barn are these motherfuckers. These really cool monster pterodactyl creatures, if you remember them. So, Rickard and her jump on board. And they just get the heck out of Dodge, pretty much. And they don't want anything to do with the City of Light anyhow. Fuck those guys. And then we're back to hanging out on the ship. Hell yeah. I love this kid. He's so fun. And we're back to having a little bit more lighthearted adventure. It's always lighthearted when Puck's up to his shenanigans, especially when he's like a little cartoon fella. She decides that she's going to stay with the team and not go back with the mermaids, which made me happy. But if she ever talks into this necklace show, she'll have a straight communication with her people, which is nice. And then we finally get to the fairyland, and there's all these cool wards to keep people off in a way that send them off track. But they just tie a string to Puck and have him lead the way, which kind of cracked me up. But then we get to this haunted field, which is really cool because we got this scary, spooky set of scarecrows, and then a really cool pumpkin monster, which I dug. And so, yep, we're on to the next volume, and this one's all about being on the fairy island here. So this is really cool. Get some good fights. Like I said, these pumpkin creatures are really sick. I like them a lot. They're a lot of fun. But the fighting doesn't go on too long because these things are actually just safeguards to protect the island. So once they realize that we're friendly. But man, isn't that Wicker Man cool? This monster Wicker Man, I love how instead of hands he has just like giant chains with logs. Hella cool. But then we meet this witch and a couple other warlocks, and they realize that Guts and Party are friendly. They partially realize that when they can't do anything to stop Guts. And then we meet this really cool old wizard, and and he remembers, or I should say, he knows Shriek because he knew her mentor, the Witch of the Woods. And so he brings them to their village to meet the Fairy Queen. But before they do, they have to get something to drink and get a little freshened up. And I like how they point out, it's like, you know what, you're not going to not get to meet the Queen just because you're busy having a cup of tea. That's how things go. And I love this too, how they're just I love the comic relief characters, and Cedrio and Puck are just a great duo of getting into trouble. But this is great here. We meet all the head wizards and stuff. They're so cool. They're just really fun and friendly, and it's just the best, most warmest parts of European folklore. And we have this pretty lady who's wandering around all the wizards and everything, serving people food and drinks, and tending to stuff, and just like talking and chatting, being friendly. And she's giving everybody tea and crumpets here, having a good time, just checking in as everybody doing their busy work. And Guts is being so impatient, saying, "Hey, I need to see the Queen." But it's just like, no, we're chilling. She'll see you. Just have some freaking tea and relax. Which I just love, because it's like you're here. Just chill out. But the best bit is as we go on, he's talking, we're learning the story, and Guts cannot get away from Griffith no matter what. These people find out that he even knows the fella, and they're just so enamored and wanting to know more about him. And he's just like, can I please just get over this man and what he did to me and my people? It's breaking his heart so much. But he just really wants to talk to the Queen, and I love it because he just tells him, he's like, Griffith, he's just gonna do what Griffith does. That's all there is to it. But he can't get away from it, not even when he gets to the fairy island. So sad. But this is wonderful. They're taking him on their way to meet the Fairy Queen, and we get this beautiful page of, we're always seeing the dark, terrible, grotesque, horrible creatures. But we're finally getting to see the beautiful, the wonderful, the warm folklore. Look at those little guys. Look at all the wonderful things. This is all the good magic. What a beautiful page. It's not as awesome is all the badass, scary, mean monsters. But it's wonderful, and I love this page so much. I especially love these little guys. They're so fun looking. And we see more of them too, like here. I love this little plant guy, and this dude's head is fun. All sorts of fun little fairy folk, and Seadrill and the unicorn, so fun. Yeah, good times, and they're just on their way to meet the queen and just goofing. And I love all the jokes that have been going on between Puck and I'm forgetting the name of the other fella, but the aristocrat who who wants to put Puck on the throne so he can have an inside man and import magic. We get more goofing and talking about that here as they're on their way to meet the queen. But what's great too is, as we'll find out, the queen overhears this whole conversation and knows what's going on, and she don't like it. But Puck is just going and playing along. And he goes and sits on the throne. For a second we think he really is the king, but then the king's court arrests him for treason and takes both him and the aristocrat away. Make me laugh so much. And then we get this beautiful page where we see the fairy queen in her full glory, and it's revealed that, oh, she's been here the whole time. She was just that sweet, kindly witch who was serving everybody tea. And I love it so much because she was right there when everybody was saying, we gotta meet her, we gotta talk to her. But no, she's just chilling, serving people cakes and teas and hanging out and having fun. And you know, she's not making a deal out of it. She's letting things play out. But she's so magnificent looking, and she's such a sweetheart too. I love it. It's so funny right here when she's devising a punishment for Puck and the aristocrat. Her big punishment for their treason is they have to do chores for a full day. So instead of her going around serving people tea and cleaning dishes, it's him who has to do it. And she convinces Puck that he wouldn't want to be king anyway, because as queen, her main job is to be an arbiter between magic and the wizards, and she spends all her time talking and being friendly and cleaning up and serving people. And he's like, oh yeah, I don't like doing that. I like slacking off. But the fairy realm is so fun and wonderful, and I love it so much. But they devise they're going to save Casca by diving into her dreams. So the remainder of the book is inside of Casca's head as we all go into the dreams here. And this is a cool bit in the dreamscape because we're going to Shriek's dream first, and it's a nightmare of a monster monkey, a sea trio, stopping her from eating a jar of honey and him stealing her honey. And it's so funny. I cracked up. Oh, and then we get to Farnes's dream, and it's more of a nightmare where she's doing the laundry of Mr. Rockface and the rest of the church group she used to work for, and them just talking down to her. But she gets rescued by Shriek, and they go off together, a journey into Casca's dream, which starts out as this silly cartoon dream because it's the mentally handicapped, the slow version of Casca. And then they dive deeper, and when they dive past that, they get into her real dreams, her nightmares. And this is real dark right here, where we're seeing everything, and we end up seeing her own representation within the dream, and it's her as a casket being dragged by a three-legged dog with one eye. This is terrible. So in her mental state, she sees Guts as a wounded, injured, hanging on to life dog, and it's dragging a heavy corpse. That's some dark imagery right here. And it's constantly having bat-like demons swoop down and stab it. And that's what it's doomed for. All eternity. That. What a nightmare. Ugh. And they look in the coffin, and we see this broken, hollow shell of a person. But inside we see a tiny flickering of light. A little person. And this person just kind of hops out and hangs out with Farnes. And they continue on their journey through her mind. It's quite dark. Then it cuts back and we see what's going on with all the people in Guts. Guts has a bro moment where he hangs out with all the dudes together. The ladies are off in their own world while they're having their own little talk, but the girls, they're not having nearly as a good time as the guys who are out there drinking with all the fairy folk. But this right here is, we're back into Casca's mind, and the girls are seeing the past, and in this past of Casca's, they're also seeing Guts. And the little spirit of Casca is bouncing up and down and reacting to things going on. And we slowly start to see the doll kind of get a little bit more pieced together as things go on. And they travel further and further in the mindscape. And as they do, they keep encountering scenes from the past and seeing things from Casca's point of view. And a lot of the things they're seeing are pretty deep and heavy, and none of the characters involved have any idea of this deep past or just what was going on with Guts, Casca, and Griffith. And as they travel, they keep attracting more and more dark things that they got to watch out for. And they keep seeing more and more visions. And finally we get to a point where Farnes sees something that she don't like. And that's this page right here. Which is so funny because she covers up Shriek's eyes like, not for you. You too young, girl. Yeah, because it's so funny too because, well, both characters really have a crush on Guts. But she has more of a crush. She has like a deep-seated secret lust and passion for Guts, and her witnessing this and seeing Guts making love to Casca reinforces the thing she's always suspected but has never been outright stated, that Guts's love for Casca is that deep and it's that kind of love, and that she has no shot. She's never going to get the Guts that she wants because Guts is so dedicated to Casca, and that just devastates her right there. Shriek's too young and not like... She just likes Guts, but they're on different levels of liking the character. And Guts has eyes for no one but Casca. And I'm curious to see what happens between these two, and if she does something to maybe sabotage things, or if she does end up becoming so selfless, because she's grown so much as a character through her love and taking care of Casca. It's giving her purpose, and she's grown as a person. So I'm very curious to see where that goes and what that twist entails. But that's the end of this volume here. And we're done. I had a good time going through this with you, and well, an even better time reading the damn thing. But I'm excited to read the following volume. It'll be bittersweet knowing that there's nothing after it, but I think I am going to reread and go through the whole series again, and only read volume 14 when it's my second time reading through this volume 13 here. But yeah, I had a blast. Thanks for joining me.